Good morning.
Morning.
Look at
Hey,
you
hey,
in your
hey. Welcome
background.
to
I'm in
episode
my
one
shop.
of 2023. So cool to have you guys here today. Good morning, Sydney, and
Good
good morning, and
morning.
welcome to our
Oh,
special guest, Tony.
here comes the
Good
cat.
morning.
So it is officially Bead Maker Coffee. The cat has arrived. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes, she likes to sit between the ring light and the computer. So hopefully she won't walk across the front.
Good timing.
But she was like, "Oh, we're starting. I'm here."
She heard the music, the countdown
Yeah,
music.
she's so
Oh,
funny.
we've got a good audience going today. Gabriel,
How
I'm
is
very sorry
everybody?
to disappoint you, but I'm here again today, and Chris is not. There you go.
All right. Well, so what's everyone been up to? What is it, like the 16th of January?
It is. We're literally 2 full weeks in, and it's been a little
Yeah.
more than that because we didn't our last show, the Monday before Christmas, right? So
Yes.
it's been
Yep.
almost a month.
Yep. It's been exactly a month.
Yeah.
Exactly a
So
month. Yeah. So, we had planned to do it last Monday, but then we realized that that pushes our schedule for the whole year. And you guys, we already all have it on our on our calendars. So we decided, you know what, let's stay on schedule because we like it better when it lines up with events. So we decided to stick on schedule. So sorry we missed you guys last Monday. That was so sad, but we're happy to be back. We have Tony with us this morning. So for those who don't know, Tony, why don't you tell us real quick about yourself? Where are you at?
Okay.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I am Tony Mazel. I live in Tehachapi, California. This is a weird virtual shop of mine that I'm in right here. So I run T-Line Auto Detail. It's my personal business, and then as well as I'm a Diamond Protect brand ambassador for the U.S.
Awesome. Awesome.
awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. For those that don't know, Tony and I go way back when we were both
Yes,
just little side hustle garage detailers. So Tony and I have known each other forever. So thanks for joining us this morning. All right. So real
absolutely,
quick,
my pleasure.
yeah. So normally, let's see, Keith, we recap what we've been up to, and then we talk about our week. So if we recap, wow. Um, Basically we just had Christmas and New Year's, and PNS was closed for a couple weeks, which is happens every year. So great for everybody to kind of reset and recharge. Um, that's pretty much it, right? We've just been trying to get back in the swing of things. We're leaving, which I'm sure we'll talk about. We're leaving in a week and a day for Mobile Tech Expo in Orlando. We're so
Yeah.
excited about that. So I'm sure we'll be talking more about that. Anything I missed, Keith?
Let's see. So what else has happened? Well, we got the schedule for Mobile Tech. So you're doing a presentation with me helping out with whatever I'm supposed to do.
Nice.
And you're going to be in the booth at Auto Geek during the show on Friday in the
Friday.
afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friday at 2. Yes.
Yep. And then
Friday at 2.
I'm headed out of here on Wednesday. I got to go to the East Coast and go see our New York and our Boston partners and do some coding classes.
Nice.
Because what else
Ooh.
should we do? Let's see what else is going on. So we had already met at PNS by the time that we had our last Bead Maker and Coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had just come back. Yep. So we've got just, a great year planned. We're excited to kind of get on that. So really, we're just trying to plan our attack, right?
We
Plan
are.
our
Our
attack for the
attack is
year.
already on the way because it is soap month at PNS. So,
Yes.
one question of the day. I'm not even going to type it in. I'm just going to ask it. What is your favorite PNS wash soap? So I know Sydney's
Ooh,
new favorite. We might talk about that absolutely, but you never know.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So with that, what I'm
New
going to do is bounce onto the background here, and I am going to put up some questions for you guys from our audience.
Yeah, I like the one. Does Tony have cats? Um,
I
all
do
right. So
too.
while you do, you have two. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're only sometimes inside cats, so I
Okay.
don't have
Oh
them here
man,
to get in the way. Yeah, we are
my
a little
cat.
allergic, so they live partially outside.
I don't know if you guys saw her. She did.
I
She did
see
make an
her.
appearance. Now she's over there. All right. So let's do favorite products for the last couple weeks. You go, because I'm going to
Okay.
think of mine. So,
Yeah. So
and just so you
I had a
guys know,
couple of,
Tony's been a long time user of PNS, so he knows his way around a PNS product.
yeah. In fact, this is my bar of PNS products here on the wall here.
Nice,
Kind of
nice,
like styled like yours, easily
nice.
accessible.
Love it.
Yeah, so I kind of had a couple interesting, so it's been just an absolute deluge of rain and stuff in California.
Oh no.
No like flooding or anything where I live, but business has been slower. People are getting their cars detailed when it's raining cats and dogs and buckets.
Hmm.
But I did have a couple details this last week. Nothing too interesting or exciting, but something I did sort of, on kind of on a whim for a customer of mine. He had gotten a coating, and I was explaining to him the rinseless wash process at the end of his coating job. He was really
Hmm.
interested in it, and I like to bring every coating I do back at least once for a free wash, kind of checkup wash,
Hmm.
and a little bit of education.
Hmm.
And so this individual decided to, I offered and he accepted to invite some friends. So I actually held on Friday a little in-house rinseless wash class, which is kind of actually what this picture is
Awesome.
from. Somewhere over
Awesome.
here, there's a display of I made a little display of absolute, a rag company drying towel, the ultra black sponge bucket, grit guard, the whole thing. And a few gentlemen came in, and they were, older guys that have their cars at home and want to take care of them and want to wash them in the winter. And I
Uh-huh.
kind of just blew their minds, right? Because uh, they were soap and chamois guys. And
Yeah.
so right at the start, I'm like, a lot of this is going to be different than what you expect. Feel free to ask questions, but don't tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. They bought some product. They, learned how to do the process. They were super stoked. I'm like, you can do this in your garage with, a
Hmm.
warm bucket of water and a little heater on or something. So that was kind of my big PNS, product fun, and also sort of
That's
soap related
awesome.
ish thing that I
Yeah.
did this week. And it was a good time.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love that. I love I love watching people's faces when you show them Absolute and how it works and stuff. And I do that. I've never done a class at my shop. That's a great idea. But I do it like when my customers come to pick up their car and they're trying to understand how we're going to wash their
Yeah.
cars. They just don't understand. And so sometimes Delaney's car is always parked in the driveway. And so I'm always like, I'll grab my wash bucket and I'll be like, come here, watch this. And I'll like wash her door or wash her hood real quick. And they're always like, what in the world are
Yeah.
you doing?
That's it.
But I
But
love it.
where's the soap and
I love
where's
it.
the hose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where's the scratch too, right? So it all works out good. It all works out good. Okay. So my favorite product last week that it's kind of an interesting one, but it's one that I often go back to. Um, it was Dressed. So I know that Dressed,
Oh,
some people they either love it or they hate it, and I totally get it. Because if you're not using it correctly, then it may not work that great. So it's definitely one of those that is an old school product. You have to kind of reset the way you think. So for me, I'm pretty diligent on when I use it. And so tires that have only ever have dressed. So brand new tires from the factory never have had any dressing on them besides dressed. And everybody knows I love dynamic, like love dynamic, but I have forced myself to not use it on certain tires. And um, so the tires that come in that have only ever have dressed, one, they're so easy to clean. But
mm,
two, literally, I did a car the other day, and I probably had four people go, what is on those tires?" Because it just, when you do it right, it looks so good, so good.
hmm,
So it was just one of those ones where I'm always like, God, I just always forget how great this product is. Now, again, it does have to be used totally correctly. So if you're switching on a tire that has had other dressings on it before, you absolutely have to strip it with undressed. Have to. Um,
yep.
and if you can, in this case, if you can just start right from the beginning and only ever use dressed, it really is amazing. So um, that was my product that just kind of stood out because it's just one of those that I don't use every day, but when I do and it's the right setting, it's
Yeah. I used Rest as well, actually, this last week. Now that you mention it, it reminds me.
like, oh. Oh,
And so that I picked that up on the Black Friday sale. I had used that way back when it was still in the recently new development stage.
nice, nice.
So that was nice
Yeah,
to break that out. And I don't
cool,
know that it was the only dressing that had ever touched those tires, but like you said, I did strip them with undressed.
cool.
And yeah,
Yeah,
so it
cool.
worked, hopefully.
Aw- Awesome, awesome. Well, we have a ton of good mornings coming in. Um,
Yep.
so Keith, I think we are ready to rock and roll on these questions. There is a ton of questions piling up. Um, 45 degrees is the lowest we can get Bead Maker to work here without streaking. You know, I think I'm
Probably
not
sounds
sure if, yeah, I
fair.
mean, yeah, I would say, I use it lower than that, but I probably don't use it like straight outside in like consistent 45 or lower degrees. So what I would do in that case is my question would be, are you spraying it on the panel or on the towel? So I would try spraying it on the towel. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure. I
When you
don't
get
use
any
it
colder than
outside
that,
colder than that.
almost nothing works well
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Right. Right.
consistently.
Yep.
And then is there a breeze and is the paint actually colder than whatever the actual ambient temperature is?
Right. Yeah. I think the temperature of the panels actually has more to do with it than the air temperature.
Yeah, I would think
Please
so.
give some winter bead maker tips. Well, here's the deal. It's been about 10 years since I've worked outside. So I'm super spoiled at this point. I
Drive your
don't really,
car so it's nice and warm,
right.
the whole thing. Pull it in
Right.
the garage, shut the door, let the car heat up the garage, and then put your bead maker on.
Yeah. No, honestly, like we were saying, I mean, most products you're going to have a little bit of trouble if the panels are really cold. So for me, I try to not leave cars out overnight if it's going to be really cold. And if I do, then I let them sit in the garage for about an hour and a half before I start doing anything to the exterior. Because
Yeah.
really the panel is going to cause more of an issue than the air temperature. So in that case, I would just try doing everything on the towel first, maybe not spraying anything on the actual panel, just because whatever you do, it is going to change the way that product effect has an effect on that panel. So um, that would be my number one advice: is just make sure. One, you could try to. Maybe for the bead maker, you could try this, because this is the way I put bead maker on anyway, is with the water. So everyone knows I wash the car and then I put the bead maker on before I dry it. Um, but you could try washing the car with hot water, and that will help, for a few minutes, warm the panel up, and then try putting the bead maker on wet versus dry. I would try that,
Yeah, I
but
like
don't
that
warm
too.
the bead maker up. As nice as that sounds, don't warm the bead maker up.
Oh,
We want to see the cat more, please. Missy. We'll see. I'm
cat
sure she'll
cam.
be back. I'm sure she'll be back before this is over. She likes to. Yes, Josh, we cannot wait to see you next week either. I can't believe that's next week. It's so amazing how fast mobile tech comes up after Christmas. I always think, oh, yeah, we've got a while till mobile tech, and then it comes up so fast. Ron says we are having our first real snowfall. Wow, crazy. We've had snow. We had snow for 2 months, and now we haven't had any in January, which is nice. We normally just get snow in January.
We've got like
Two
five
Shine says
inches
it's,
or 5 to 10 inches forecasted for today.
oh my
So we'll
gosh,
see.
yikes. Two Shine says it's driving me nuts to not be able to wash my car. Absolute. Try Absolute.
Absolutely. You got a garage, got a
Absolutely.
heater.
Um, yeah, you should be able to wash your car with Absolute, even if you're outside, even if you don't have a way to wash inside. Absolute does totally
Yeah.
fine, in cold weather. I would try, again, start with warm water. That really does make a big difference. It gives you a little bit of working time. But I know for me, I'm washing really dirty cars with Absolute. The other thing you can do that I always give people the tip is, the self-serve washes. Take your bucket of stuff down there. Use their, make their floor icy. Use their stuff. Use their pressure
Yeah.
washer, use their bay. Just go wash your car with one of those. Don't use their soaps or anything, but you're going to use their water. Just take your bucket. And I have a lot of people that do that. A lot of my
Leave the
customers go
mess
and do that.
there.
Heck yeah. You don't want it at your house. So then back to the question comes up, does Tony have cats?
Oh, yes.
So you can answer that again.
They're just outside. They've got little heated cat houses, or they stay in the garage half the time too.
That's funny. So they don't come in the house at all?
Oh, sometimes, especially the newer one. The older one is just grumpy, and he doesn't really like to be pet, and the kids don't know how to handle him. But the newer stray that I rescued, he's my little shop cat. So he hangs out with me at the shop most of the time, and then he'll come in the house every now and then as a special treat.
That's funny. That is good. And while we're on the subject of winter heating, real quick, we talked about hot water, but has anybody tried those Yeti buckets? The Yeti buckets. They're kind of expensive. They're like, what are they, like 30, 40 bucks?
There's one.
But, oh yeah. So they're like 30, 40 bucks, but they are made by Yeti, right? So they keep everything super insulated. So if you're having to use hot water, try a Yeti bucket. I bet you will be happy.
Yep. Hours later, still warm in the bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Ron says, where's the coding class in the Boston area? I'm 26 miles from there. Keith, going to need your help on that one.
Well, the coding class is at Wipe On, Wipe Off in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. So if you need to reach out to them, and Mr. Joseph Nisi will get you signed up. I have some special guest instructors coming in, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Scott Macha is coming down from Maine. Jim Gogan is coming over from Ipswich, and a number of others. So it will be a really good class. We're going to about 25 of us there total by the time we get done. And we are going to do some flex training as well. So we'll have flex and we'll have inspiration, the full coding line, and we might just bust out the headlight restoration kit. Matter of fact, we don't. So
nice.
Little teaser. It's going to be a good time. And don't forget, on Thursday afternoon, 1 to about 6:30, we have the coding class in Long Island, New York. So in Oakdale. And you got to reach out to Long Island Detail Supply to sign up for that. And there are seats available for that, but only like 1 or 2. So hurry up.
Nice.
All right. I'm out of here.
For that.
He's in and he's out.
He's in and he's out. All right. Mike says, been doing nothing but interiors. I'm getting tired of them. Mike, I've been watching the news. It sounds like, so he's in the Bay Area. So crazy rain over there. Interiors, that would be hard.
It's kind of the
hard
season.
Only doing interiors. Yeah, it is kind of the season though. So Josh, answering Keith's question, Pearl was my absolute favorite up until Absolute stole my heart. Yeah, right? I had to use Pearl the other day for something and I thought, oh, hello, old friend. Like I literally had not used Pearl for probably a year because I've just obviously went through, all the testing with Absolute and, then obviously it came out that that's all I use. So it was funny when I had to use it the other day. I was like, oh, hey, haven't seen you for a while.
I did put my bottle of Pearl on the shop sink. So that's the hand soap.
Yep. That's what I use mine for. Yep. I love it as a hand soap. It's a fantastic hand soap for anybody who's never used Pearl for that. All right. Two Shine says, what's the purpose of finisher interior cleaner? Do you know the answer to this?
Finisher interior cleaner. Oh yeah, absolutely. So finisher, as part of your 3-part PNS interior carpet upholstery system, finisher is important because it not only deactivates the soaps from your carpet bomber and your Terminator, but it also acts as a little bit of a deodorizer. It's a little bit of a brightener, if you will, and which the deactivation of the soap can help prevent wicking or that stain returning, depending on how well you got it out of the fabric or the material that you're working on. So definitely don't skip out on it. It's something that, look, I'm just going to put this out there into the universe right here, live, Bead Maker and Coffee. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy detailer, and I have tried to, in the past, I've made mistakes and I've tried to skip steps. I don't need to throw finisher on it. It wasn't that dirty, and it doesn't turn out as good. It doesn't, sometimes the stains wick back. So absolutely use your finisher, interior cleaner. It works, like I said, a little bit of a deodorizer. It just kills everything. It's a nice finishing touch to the stain removal process. But make sure you use
Yep.
it third. And after you do
Yes.
your shampoo or whatever process you're doing, your dry extraction. So
Yep. That was a perfect answer. The one last thing that it does do is it's also an oxidizer. So it also is going to help the seats or fabric dry faster. So that is important
yeah,
too, because we don't want, again, that kind of goes along with the wicking. That's why it helps the wicking. It kind of keeps the humidity down. It keeps the stain from wicking back up, but it helps it dry faster, which is
makes
very
sense.
important, obviously, because
Yeah.
we want to be able to release these cars back. So that is the last thing, but absolutely, like you said, do not skip it. It is very important. The carpet cleaning system, it was meant to all work together. For me, I don't even ever skip the Terminator. I
Yeah.
talk to a lot of
Same.
detailers about this, and it's funny because here's the thing, they go, well, I didn't have any of this type of stain or something, but I mean, honestly, do we have any idea what's in the carpet and seats? I don't know if you guys have like looked at your towels or your extractor or whatever you're using to pull
Oh,
that out. We have no idea what's in there. So I use all three all the time, no questions asked. So I never skip a step because I figure there is something in there that needs all of those.
yep.
So definitely it is very important. All right,
It
Ron
also works
says,
too on mold. I don't know if
yeah,
that's technically
yep,
on label, off label, but I've used it
yep,
on mold, and the mold will kind of hiss at you. It doesn't like the peroxides in it,
yep,
and it works wonders.
totally. Totally. Ron says that his favorite soaps are Absolute and Pearl. Love it. And Facebook user, which I am
Body
pretty sure is
wash.
Anthony Brown, is body wash. I do love body wash. I actually yesterday was going to foam something, and I think I got distracted because I never did, but I was looking for my body wash. I do love body wash. Body wash is an absolutely amazing foam soap. Gabriel, I'm surprised this hasn't come up yet already. Like on Bead Maker and Coffee, I feel like there's like themes, like things that
Yeah.
everyone's going to talk about. And I'm actually surprised that nobody's brought this up yet because it's been such a big hot topic on TikTok. So Gabriel says, Bob, my apologies for whining the last few months for an air freshener. Last week, I hear and see about the deodorant. Now, one question, when is the air freshener available? So Gabriel, the
When's the
deodorant actually makes the air freshener. So the deodorants are they're called deodorants because they're a concentrate. So super, super high concentrate in a bottle called deodorant, and you mix it 7 parts water to 1 part of the deodorant, and that makes your air freshener slash deodorant. So, I use those deodorants to spray on the carpet to just kind of, give the car a new smell, new life. But you can also just spray it in the air as an air freshener. It works both ways. They're great. Like all air fresheners, they're a little bit temporary, but they are great. I love the deodorants. So they were a very hot topic. And poor Ian, man, I wish we would have had a video camera inside the warehouse. I wonder how many times he and I know it's funny, like Ian works up front and the deodorants are like way at the back of the warehouse. And so he probably had to just keep running back and forth, constantly grabbing deodorants because of Jamie the cleaner's TikToks about the
Yeah,
deodorants.
the TikTok action probably
Yeah.
sold a few bottles, I bet.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, we got to give us a heads up. I think it sold out in like a couple minutes, and then Ian was able to restock, so that was good. Triad says, I haven't tried PNS, but I'm interested in it. Well, you have come to the right place because we can help you with any
Yeah.
questions that you have. Yeah, check it out. You can always go back, Triad, you can go back on all of our social media. On our YouTube channel, there's a playlist with Bead Maker and Coffee. You can go and just listen to all the old episodes. And, we talk about different products. We talk about the use of them, detailing tips, all that kind of stuff. So we are here to help and would love to have you join us. Roger, absolute. I needed to try. Hear nothing but 100% good reviews.
It's good stuff.
It is the best, right? It's the best. Markabar, good morning, folks. I wonder what you all think of dry ice cleaning and the cost of the
Ice cleaning.
operation. Oof. Do you know anything about dry ice cleaning?
Only what we've all seen in the YouTube videos and stuff. I haven't had any personal experience of it. I mean, it seems cool,
Mhm.
if especially if you're
Mhm.
trying to restore something for maybe a showroom type, car show,
Mhm.
high end luxury type stuff. I think, as far as the operation of it, obviously you need a crazy special setup, and that
Mhm.
dirt you're magically erasing is going
Mhm.
somewhere, so you're gonna make a big mess
Mhm.
with it. And then too, all those areas are just gonna get dirty again. But if you're dry ice blasting the undercarriage of a car, like I said, for
Mhm.
like a show or something, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's probably great, but I don't have
Yeah.
any more hands-on experience than that.
Yeah. I don't have any hands-on experience. I've, been to a shop that does it. They definitely had plastic walls and plastic down on the floor. So I did take that as it probably makes a pretty big mess. And Mark,
Yeah,
I can't remember if you are part of the IDA or not. If you are, I am pretty sure that I want to say the 17th or 18th. So, like tomorrow, Wednesday, there is a webinar on the IDA about this very subject. So, if you
there you
are an
go.
IDA member, there is a webinar put on by Jason Otterness and Eric Joseph. So, um, I think those two guys probably have a ton of information on it. Next up, Ken, what's your favorite product for engine bay cleaning? Ooh,
Ooh, I
it's
don't
probably
do it a
gonna flip.
lot.
Yeah, it's probably gonna flip flop between for me. I don't do it a lot either. You know,
It's just messy. But if I
it.
have to and
Yeah.
I have to get aggressive with it, I use
Mhm.
I use Brake Buster.
Yeah. Brake Buster's a great one. The other one that I probably use the most, and this goes back to the whole lazy thing. Um, I probably use Tempest the most because Tempest for
Oh,
me is
okay.
one of those products that you don't have to scrub. So Tempest is what I use on all of my WeatherTech mats. I just spray them, rinse
Yeah.
it, done. So Tempest for me is kind of the same way. And somebody just said EnviroClean. I do EnviroClean works great on engines. It really does. But Tempest for me is like the strongest. And if I'm going to do it, I just want to get done. I just want to get it done.
Yeah.
So I love Tempest in the engine. I've never had any problems, but I don't do engines that much. I do like 3 a year. I try to not do them. There's just a lot of risk involved. And I mean, if you're
Yep.
doing those, you've got to make sure you're charging correctly. You're assuming a lot of risk. So I don't do that many, but when I do, I use Tempest. Kirby Thompson says Pearl for soap and now try an Absolute for rinseless. Love it. Yep. Pearl's such a great soap.
Say
This one, I
Kyle's.
know who's saying this without even looking. It's Joe Kimball. He's a big fan of Kyle's Boat and RV.
That's his favorite soap.
Yep, yep. I was dying the other day when he posted on Facebook. He posted about a car that he was doing, and he said, "Anybody that can guess what I'm using," and it made me laugh because I was like, "Oh, I totally know this," but some people guessed it pretty fast. Mike's
Hmm.
Auto Detailing. I used natural finish on the floor mats yesterday. Love using that on the floor mats. It's so amazing. It totally rejuvenates them, right? I love it. And
Yep.
I only have to wipe about maybe one out of every 15 sets. Most of them just, it totally absorbs it on their own. But I had some Toyota ones this week that I had to actually wipe it, but no big deal. I mean, it still made them look amazing. So love it.
When you do the Sydney trick where you spray the mat down and leave it out in the sun to
Yes.
just
Yes.
soak it all up, and it works great.
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best. I can't wait till there's sun again. I can't wait.
I know. Yeah.
It just makes it a lot easier because yeah, I do them fairly early in the appointment. I just leave them out there to bake all day. It's awesome. So OC detailers, there's Undressed. Yes. Have you never used it
Yep.
before? It's so great. So Undressed is it's basically a tire cleaner, tire and rubber cleaner, and it will remove all the old dressings. So it's definitely you want to use it if you're switching dressings. Or say the car is coming from the dealership and they've used like that super oily, nasty stuff on it. This is what resets the tire to accept a new dressing. So, fun fact, when we get sling from dressings, it's because the tire is not accepting the dressing. So it's not the dressing's fault. It's because when the tire starts moving, it throws that dressing off like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. So you need to
Yep.
use the undressed to remove all the old silicones, all the mixture of stuff that's on there. It's just kind of a reset for the tires. So it's also a great white wall cleaner. So when a car is not, if it's a customer's car of mine that I haven't seen before or something, I always start with undressed. If I'm switching dressings, I use undressed. If I want to switch to dressed, then I do about 2 rounds of undressed. So yeah, it's just a great tire reset. I always use it when I'm coating cars just because it just goes along with the system of just a complete, reset. So yeah, undressed is, man, such a good product. Such a good product. Look at your little bar of products. That's so fun. You're not quite as OCD as me. All my sprayers have to be the same color.
I do have a couple of bad ones in there. That'll get fixed. Don't worry. I thought of you when I put those up. I'm like, wait, those are different. That's my carpet
yes.
system.
Nice.
Everything's backwards.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that works. Perfect. All right.
People
Terry
loving
says,
natural finish.
love natural finish. Man, what a great product. That one went unknown for so long.
Mazel the Gazelle.
Mazel the Gazelle. I've never heard that. How's it going, Alex? Do you have snow? Alex is in Canada, for those who don't know. OC, always on the towel. I'm assuming that's going back to how do we put the bead maker on? Always on the towel.
Bead Maker, yeah.
Perfect. All right. I'm not. Terry works on your shell. Is Terry a turtle? Those two know each other. There must be some kind of joke there.
Yeah, probably works on the shell.
LOL. So funny. All right. Oh my goodness.
Tire dressing.
Man.
Here we go.
Opening Pandora's box on this one.
Yeah.
You want to start this one? What's your favorite? Because you know me, I have like 5 favorites.
You probably know me too. My answer too is that I'm mad about just how many options there are. Okay,
Yeah.
Make it easy for me. Give me 2. Yeah. Give me dressed and like one other one, which I guess maybe you could argue is dynamic. That's like the king, the Sydney, Breguin of the dressings. But yeah, it's hard. I use all kinds of different dressings. I'm probably going to be switching to using dressed a lot because of the way it looks. It looked on this one set of tires. I used it on this last week. I don't even know that I prepped them all that well, and it still looked amazing. It went on nice and even. It was a maintenance client. I've used other dressings before. I hit him with undressed, but I didn't go crazy. So I think I'm just going to be switching to that primarily for anything that comes in and I see. That's my answer, I guess.
Yep. Okay. So my answer is all of them because I wouldn't be willing to give up any of them. But if I had to rank them in my favorite, and let's focus on deep wet look. So for sure, dressed is going to have that deep wet look. It really does. So it's not glazed donut, but it is a deep wet look. I know exactly what you're talking about by that. Now, if we're going for a deep, dark, rich look, then I'm going to say dynamic or Odyssey. Both of those are going to give a really nice, Odyssey almost gives even a darker. Odyssey is really cool because it almost turns the tire like super black.
Yeah, I want to change my answer to also Odyssey.
Yeah, well, you're going to change your answer again too because you're forgetting a really important one. So Odyssey is really nice for that really deep, dark look. And so I'll use Odyssey a lot if I'm dressing like the undercarriages. So a lot of times on like 4-wheel drives, Jeeps and stuff like that, I'll use Odyssey. And especially ones that have like that dried out look. Again, 4-wheel drives, they'll tend to look really dried out. So I use Odyssey. Dynamic, love dynamic. That's going to be more of a dark satin shine. And it is adjustable, which is the great part about dynamic. And dynamic's back, which is so exciting. I'm so excited dynamic's back. And so dynamic is just such a great, I always use dynamic, especially if the car has black wheels. Dynamic is the easiest one to clean up off the wheels. So again, I'm lazy again. Like this is going to be the theme today is how lazy we are. And in March, I'm doing a webinar on the IDA about diva being a diva while you're detailing. So everybody tune in for that because this is one of those tips. Is when I
I
want to
love
be
it.
really lazy about the tires, I just spray dynamic on everything. I don't care if it gets on the wheels because it wipes off so easy. I would never do that with Odyssey or Dressed. You would never
Odyssey
spray
can
that
be
on the
harder
wheel
to
much.
get off. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wouldn't go ham with it. Odyssey, you just spray it. Or I mean, I'm sorry, Dynamic, you just spray it. Now here's the one that I could not give up is Wipe and Shine. Oh, I love Wipe and Shine.
I
Do you
have
not use Wipe and Shine?
a hate, love, but also hate relationship with Wipe and Shine. Yeah. No, I like it.
Really?
I like it,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
my
harder to use physically, in my opinion. Maybe my bottle
yes,
sat
right.
out in the rain too many times.
Well,
It's like
it is a
it's a gel, but it's runny.
yeah, but do you put it on with a brush? Because you got to put it on with a brush.
No, that's probably what I'm doing wrong. I
Oh,
literally
see,
did put a spray bottle. Yeah, I've been using one of those foam flat applicators, and it'll fall off the applicator before I get it onto the tire.
yeah, you can't do that. You got to use a brush. You got to use the flag tip brush.
There
You
we
spray
go.
it on the brush and paint it on the tire. Now, the reason I love Wipe and Shine is you can put it on wet tires
Yes,
because
I
something
have
magic
used it in a
happens with
pinch
the
for that.
water. Yeah, it's amazing. But it has kind of that deep, wet look also. And I believe it's the longest lasting dressing. So,
Okay.
most dressings we're getting 2, 3 days out of. Wipe and Shine, you might get like 5 or 6. It is just a really, really great dressing. And so, but you got to put it on with a brush, the flag tip brush, you paint it on, and then you just let it set. And so it will look kind of, and Bob Phillips explains what happens really well, but it like goes into the tire and it sheds the water and it sweats and then it self levels. It does this whole magic happens and
Hmm.
it's amazing, but definitely, definitely, definitely use a brush. Um, Keith has
I'll try
texted
that
me a
this week
list of
then.
all of the dressings we
Yes.
have on the
And
side.
almost to taunt me, I said, "There's too many options." So Keith texted us
Yeah.
all of them.
Yep, he's texted all of
Dynamic, Odyssey, Momentum, Wipe and Shine, Shine All Dressed, Brilliant Blue, Multi-Dressing, Shape Up.
them.
Too many.
Yeah,
Where's
too
Dave?
many.
Can we get Dave on the phone?
I think he's in Breckenridge.
Can we just
Yeah,
combine all of them and make a super
yeah,
dressing?
yeah, I do. But so what do I have? 4 that I use? I must have like the main 4. The other thing, Wipe and Shine. Here's my deal with Wipe and Shine. That is my premium tire dressing. So cars that are getting coated,
Oh,
I only use Wipe and Shine. So it is considered my premium coating because you are getting a couple extra days. But here's why I only use it on coating cars, is because I'm in my garage. It's small. Um, not great ventilation and stuff like that. So, once you're prepping a car for coating, you do your paint correction and then you do paint prep. Well, once you have paint prepped the car, nothing else should get sprayed. In my garage, I'm talking mine, nothing else should get
sure.
sprayed from that point forward, right? Because it's up in the air somewhere and it's going to trickle down onto the car. So, what I love about Wipe and Shine is I'm not aerosolizing anything in the air. So, I always use Wipe and Shine on coated cars because I know that there's no silicones in the air at all, actually, during that entire appointment. So that is why for me, Wipe and Shine
Oh,
is considered my like top level. And that's what goes on coated cars. Plus it just looks so darn good.
there you go.
So yeah. Okay. Gabriel says 35. I'm assuming he means degrees. Bead maker, no problem, but on the towel and then wipe it on, not don't put it
Direct on the
directly on the
panel.
panel. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's what I would do too. You could always use like a hair dryer and warm the panel up. That would be a little extreme.
Diva
Uh
detailing.
yeah. Yep. Yep. Is Pearl water based? Man, I'm
I
going to
would
say
assume
yes.
so.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
We're going with yes. Tune in next week, 2 weeks from
Yeah.
now, for revised answer.
I
Possibly.
am pretty sure it's water based. It
Hey,
is a very
Keith says
friendly soap.
yes.
Yep. So funny. Terry brought up full
What else
send.
we got? Oh, Mike says yes.
Yes. Okay, so OCD. I am brand new last year. I want to learn why or why not to go to MTE. Oh, this is a great question.
There you go.
So MTE. So when I was new in detailing, I worked alone for many years and didn't really realize there was an industry, but I did go to SEMA. I think I started going to SEMA my second year or third year in business, right around there. Because I thought that was how you learned everything was at SEMA. Now, SEMA, you can learn about what's on the market. You can learn about products. You can learn all of that good stuff, but you don't really learn about detailing in general, and you don't learn anything about the detailing industry. MTE is Mobile Tech Expo, so it is a dedicated show for detailing and paintless dent repair. So it used to kind of err heavier on the side of PDR. Now it's, I don't know, it's getting probably close to 50-50. But the nice thing about MTE is um, the IDA, so the International Detailing Association, plays a pretty heavy part at MTE. So there's a whole education day on Thursday. So the show floor, meaning, all the booths and stuff, is Friday, Saturday. And on Thursday, there's education day. And there's several rooms, several what they call tracks. There might be one on like marketing, and then one on, then there's tracks on PDR, there's tracks on paint correction. So you get the schedule ahead of time, and then you decide where you're going to go. I think every class is about 30 to 50 minutes or so. And so you can kind of plan out your day. Now, the thing about the education day is it's insane education. It's so good. So it's usually industry professionals. So people like me, Tony, it's just regular detailers that are going in that are doing classes, doing seminars on different topics. So like last year, Kyle taught one on RV detailing, kind of went over pricing, all of that. I did kind of running a home business and kind of my story. And so the education that you get from it and the networking with other detailers is, in my opinion, far superior to SEMA. I do love going to SEMA, not going to lie. I love SEMA. But as far as when you're wanting to learn and connect with other detailers, MTE is really, really great. It's a great show. It's not expensive to go to. I mean, obviously you have to travel there, so that part could be a little bit more, but the show itself, and Keith can correct me if I'm wrong here, I think the tickets are only like 40 or $50. They're pretty cheap. That's for all 3 days. You don't pay any additional for any of the education pieces. That is also where the IDA does their annual meeting. And so we have like the awards night and all that kind of stuff. And so also in connecting with the IDA, you get to know a lot about what the IDA is all about at MTE, which I think is just super important for detailers. Keith.
Yep.
Hi. Yes. So
Hi.
MTE, I put the link to the education day in the chat session here. So eventually you'll find it down there at the bottom. So, I mean, MTE, I tell everybody 2 things. If you want to see what's going on in the greater wide world of cars, go to SEMA. If you want to know what's going on in detailing and educate yourself as a detailer, you go to Mobile Tech Expo. Provided you go to Thursday. You can walk the show in an hour if you're just burning through the floor. Compared to SEMA is just vast. But boy, what you get out of the opportunity to meet, and this is the other thing, Tony, I'm going to walk on that show floor at Mobile Tech, and I'm going to run into you. And that's the magic of, I think, Mobile Tech Expo is there's 400 guys like Tony there that you're going to walk around and run into and have an opportunity to broaden your horizons and your connections and get really more deeply entwined in what's going on in the industry. And so, if you're going to go, Mobile Tech's always kind of been viewed as an East Coast show, but it draws well from the West Coast, my one wish for that show is they'd put it in Dallas and we can all get there easy. But hey, man, it's Orlando. It's in January, and you can just go down and hang out at Disneyland or Disney World on Sunday. So, you got that going for you. I love that show. I've been going actually since the first one. So that's 20 something years or whatever. And there's pictures of like 9 detailers at that thing from, 2005 and 6. And now we'll probably have about 1,000 detailers at that show. So it's a great opportunity. And the cool part is you get to come see PNS at the Bead Maker Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
where's that?
Yes, because we have the Bead Maker Lounge there. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say is I think with the manufacturers and stuff, you have a lot more time to actually sit and talk to them versus at SEMA. I mean, there's, 40 or 50 other people that don't even know what that manufacturer is. But I mean, there's just people everywhere at SEMA, and some of them may just be car enthusiasts. And so here you just get to interact with the manufacturers a lot more. You have a lot more time to talk and connect. And there's a comment down here that's a little bit long, so it might not come up right, but Jason Bruno said, I've heard from so many new detailers who have gone to MTE, and that has changed the way they run their business, learn new ways to detail and new products, and all of that. I mean, it's just I think that everybody that comes back from MTE the first time just has a totally different perspective. And the networking, all of that is so invaluable that it's a good show to go to. Really, really good show to go to.
Yep. I'm trying to find where our thread was because we have a ton of comments to plow through. So I'll get out of here.
There's a lot of comments. All right. So definitely, I think go. I don't know if this year is out of the question for you, but if it is, definitely put it on your goals for 2024. Mike said, took me 3 years to get to the MT and I love it. And he used the VacMaster for 2 years. That must have been answering a side question. MT is great. All right. We added instant hot water heaters. The water temp is set to 115 and it's been a game changer. Absolutely.
Love
Absolutely. It. I have hot water in my garage too, and I would not give it up for anything.
Same. Made a point
All
to
right.
get it in the new shop.
I even use hot water in the summer. Let's be real. Okay. Two Shine says, okay, nice. Gonna have to go check that out. I used CG tire and trim gel and it ate away slowly. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean it disappeared? Like it lasted a long time? Morning all. Mike says you can check out all the tire dressings in my website. Yes, all of them. We have all of them on PNS too. It's it's crazy. Okay, so who asked this? This is so funny. This was back a while ago. Where's the crystal wash tutorial there? Oh my goodness. So I just need to film it. So here's the deal with that is I need to get that filmed. It's my next one to work on. It's just been freezing here. It's just been freezing. And so I just haven't done it yet. I will. It's coming up next. Within the next couple of weeks, I'll get it done. I was dealing with obviously all the, holidays and stuff, but it is definitely on my list. And I love the crystal wash. I've seen several comments come up today about people trying crystal wash for the first time, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. Mac from Max Auto Care. I missed that. Man, I can't read that fast. Fitchburg. Hi from the
Philippines.
Thanks for joining us.
So Duck Detailing is Mike. He's going to be at the event in Fitchburg. That's why that came up that way.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So he's a little flash to bang time there. The question was asked a long time ago. So
okay, gotcha. I was like, I'm lost. Okay, Ron. In winter, I go to the local pay and spray to rinse the undercarriage and heavy stuff off the paint. Then I do a rinseless wash in my heated garage. Perfect. That's what I do too. Love it.
Oh, love it. That's what I do half the time.
Yep. Roger says we need to come to Oklahoma for a class.
So we're not coming to Oklahoma, Roger, but we're going to Dallas, Texas in February for the Southwest Car Wash Show, Prentice and I, and we will have a coating class with Anthony Brown at Carter's Car Care on the 25th of February, which is a Saturday. So you got to make a little trek south, but dude, come down to Dallas and hang out with us.
Yes, for sure. All right. Triad says, do you have classes in West Texas? Keith, you're the Texas guy.
Dallas is East Texas. That's as close as we're getting this year. Although we have a couple new distributors in West and Southwest Texas, so anything's possible, but it won't be probably until September if we announce anything. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get Sydney there eventually.
I know. I need to go to Dallas. I need to go to Dallas.
February 22nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Let's plan it.
Man,
Bob.
I know, but I think I got February seems like it's full for some reason.
It's a busy, well, for you, it's a busy month. You got a lot going on. We'll talk about that in the next show.
Yeah, I do. All right. Kirby says an alternate for the Yeti is a regular 5-gallon water cooler. It keeps it warm and nice and cheap alternative. What's a water cooler? Is that like the big orange bucket things? Is that
like an actual cooler?
Yeah, it's like an actual cooler, like the one where you have to have a friend to carry it into the car show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure.
Or you can get the one with wheels on it and have no friends, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Mike says, Sydney, what foam cannon do you use? So I believe, and Keith will have to do here. I always default to Keith because Keith's the one that sets me up. It's an MTM, right?
It is the MTM. Yeah, that's one that we carry at PNF. So if you look at our foam cannon online,
Diva.
Hey, Ian, the next run on a product going to be foam cannon, dude. So stock up. Get ready.
Yes. And I use the MTM, but I don't use the foam cannon too often because that would take me going outside. So I have the MTM though. It's great. It's awesome. Alex, I plumbed hot water in the garage and by proxy to the pressure washer. Hot water rinse when it's mild out and hot water absolute wash in the garage. Absolutely. That's what I do.
Sounds amazing.
My hot water, thanks to Keith, goes to my pressure washer and my Chemtrol hot water all the way around. Yep. That's the way to do it.
Why are you giving the detailing diva talk? Shouldn't it just be about you? Just take all the
I'm sharing all my diva tips.
Okay.
Sharing all my diva tips. Yeah. How to be a diva in case you didn't know.
Right. How to schedule your hair and nails on the same day you do a coating.
Yeah. Exactly.
And don't skip the coffee in the morning.
No, is there something you need to know about Chris Hansen there, Tony?
This is my grandfather-in-law. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm like, I don't know.
That's so funny. I finally tried Absolute. Who is that?
Somebody tried Absolute.
I gotta look. I don't know who that is because that's from a while ago. Well, awesome. I'm so glad you finally tried it. Everybody needs to try Absolute. Absolute is just amazing. Gosh, I use it for so much. So much. Love it. Ron says,
we clean
Alex,
the floors in our house with it.
Yes. When does it get mild in the Great White North?
July.
Yeah, June. July.
Probably May. I don't know.
Yes. Okay. So Kimberly said, I used Epic on my rubber floor mats to remove salt until I could give a proper wash. Mats not slippery and removed all the ick factor. Yes, Epic is awesome. And Epic is really good on the salt. So I use, fun fact, I use Epic as a pre-spray because all the cars here right now obviously have salt and sodium hydrochloride and all that kind of good stuff all over the bottom of the cars. And Epic does a really, really great job. And absolutely, I use Epic all the time on rubber floor mats. Just, when you're having to do just a quick wipe, you're not worried about getting them perfect, but you just kind of want to get that good layer off, and it does a really, really great job.
Yeah.
Wave and a thumbs up. First from Puerto Rico to Kirby and Mike.
Love the rag company.
And the rag company.
Crisanto still hasn't tried it. Absolute. Okay, Humberto. Hey, from Mike. Okay, Terry. Oh, goodness. Opinions on wet sanding versus dry sanding for headlight restoration. I do both at the same time.
Me too.
So I do dry on my first two levels, which is usually 800, 1200. I do dry. And then my final one, which is usually 2,000 or 3,000, is wet.
Yep. I'm usually 800, 1,200. I'm dry. 15 and 3,000. I'm wet.
Yeah. Same.
Which is what we will do in Fitchburg. Show up. I'm just burning through all the good mornings here, so we're just kind of.
Good morning. I'm going to have to ask Terry what this turtle situation is. There's lots of turtle.
I hope it's not a reference to a certain wax brand in a negative way. I mean, it's funny if it's.
I don't think so. Terry only uses PNS, but there must be something with the turtle. We get Chinook, so wild weather swings. Yeah.
I think that's like getting an El Nino in California for those who are.
Yeah. The
I'm like,
cleaner
I don't
killed
know
it in
what
the
that
past couple
is.
weeks. Is that the
Yes, he
turtle?
did. He killed
Cherry, did
our.
the cleaner kill the turtle?
I don't know,
Oh
but
no.
he killed our fragrance
We're here.
inventory. That's what he did.
Have been here, but just listening since he was driving.
All right. And here we go. Something to answer.
All right. This is from Kirby. I did try the crystal wash on nasty wheels, and wow, I will talk to you more about this MT. So yes, so those who don't know crystal wash, Tony, have you done the crystal wash yet?
I haven't. I was gonna say I need a buggy in to send me some.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah,
also pay
it's
for it, I
amazing.
guess.
It's amazing. So what I do is I spray crystal wash. So it is
It's
an
acidic, right?
environmental, it's a mild acid. Pretty
Okay.
safe to use on everything. I've never had it hurt anything. And the nice thing about crystal wash is unlike like water spot remover, which is a heavy acid, you're actually meant to leave it on the surface, which is kind of cool. So it crystallizes. So it kind of stops on its own. So what I do is crystal wash is an environmental fallout remover. Um, and so I put it on the wheels. So I spray them and then I go back around with Brake Buster right over it. And so it's similar to using Iron Buster, but for me, where I'm working inside on my nice Swiss tracks, I don't get all of the gunk doesn't bleed down. There's not all the purple. It doesn't smell as bad. So there's definitely times where I still use Iron Buster, but Crystal Wash is just kind of that extra punch that most wheels need. Unless I'm doing, a super maintenance wash or something like that. But especially all these cars like Audis, BMWs, the brake dust is unreal. And so I just start with Crystal Wash, go right over with Brake Buster. It's just like a kick in the pants for Brake Buster, and it just makes it so much easier to clean the wheel. You do still have to scrub, so it's not a spray and rinse situation. You still need to scrub,
Sure.
but it's going to make your scrubbing so much easier and so much more effective. And it doesn't really smell. If you try to talk on the phone while you're using it, it will make you cough. But that's about it.
Don't breathe
so otherwise,
it. Gotcha.
yeah, but there's no lasting smell or anything like that, which I really like.
No, but if you missed it, you're going to get that kind of acid choke out that you might get. So Crystal Wash was Iron Buster before we had Iron Buster. When you spray it on the car panels as a decon, you actually let it completely dry, and it'll look like cut crystal laying on the car.
Yeah.
And then you can just neutralize it with your regular pH, like a EnviroClean or degreaser.
Yeah.
But the cool thing with Crystal Wash that I love is if you're doing a coating, I don't neutralize it after when I do the put it on the paint, because we know that a low pH car actually does seem to bond better with its coating. So it's kind of a great little plus for coating prep as well.
Yep. And the other great thing I love Crystal Wash for is, around all the emblems, where we could use water spot remover to kind of clean around emblems. A lot of times Crystal Wash does a perfectly fine job, which I love because right when I'm starting to wash the car, I just go around and pre-spray all those emblems pretty heavily. And I just let it sit.
Gunked up stuff in them.
Yeah. And then, as you're washing the car, then you have your little brush and your little crevice brush and you kind of clean it out. But so it's just a pre-spray to start loosening all that gunk that is stuck in between all the letters. And it works so nice for that. Yeah. So I just love it because you can just leave it, and so I just go around and I pre-spray all those emblems on the whole car. And then, I just go about my wash the normal way and I'm not worrying. Whereas I love to use water spot remover, but you have to spray it on and immediately start working and immediately neutralize it. And so Crystal Wash is just a little bit easier to use in that way. But yeah, big fan of Crystal
more forgiving for sure. So the Jason Otterness thing, I believe that is about the webinar on Thursday, third Thursday with the IDA.
Yes.
Let's just put this to bed now. Yes, and yes. Just sign up. It'll change your life.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
Yep. And sign up now so you don't miss my diva detailing in March.
Well, right. And if you're wondering, is it worth it? If you go to the third Thursday webinar and you see Jason Otterness on this Thursday, it's worth $110. You don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to go anywhere. You got the webinar right on your desktop. So that's why it's worth it. And then if you go to MTE, it's even more worth it.
Yep.
I just wanted your opinion on
Oh,
So
do
I
you know?
think that's
Oh, I
all.
think he's talking about the, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Tune in for that. It'll be great.
Next event in Northern California next month. Check our website. We have coding class, detail class, and coding class. Usually it's the first or second week of the month. So just check our website for that. That's our next event for PNS in California. And you have something else coming up in February in
Yeah. Yeah.
California.
So, Mike, I will be there in February. So in February, there's all kinds of stuff going on at PNS at the headquarters. So, um, there's a couple different training opportunities. The ones that are sticking out is, Bob is in the chat. That's so nice. So number one, Bob Phillips
Perfect.
is with Jason Artist right now. And he says hello to everybody. And then, so we have on a 1-day extreme. Now I'm going to go backwards. So 1-day extreme on the 11th. So Saturday the 11th, Rennie will be there doing a 1-day extreme. The guys from Chicago Auto Pros will be there. I will be there earlier in the week, kind of doing a training, and then there for the Chicago Auto Pros visit. And then the following week, I believe like around the 16th, 17th, I don't have the right days, but they're doing, there's a Rupes training at HQ. So there's a couple different trainings. So Mike, what I would do is maybe touch base with Steven, because he'll have the full schedule of when everybody is going to be everywhere. Or send me an email later, and I can send you the whole thing. But lots of stuff going on at PNS in February. Lots coming up. And there is also still a training this month, right? I keep forgetting what part of the month we're in. Don't we have a training this
past the training
week?
date? Yeah, they already
okay,
went by. They were last week.
Okay,
So
that was
yeah.
last week. Okay, perfect. Bob says the group has event is on the 15th. So that is super exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be a busy kind of 5-6 day run from because what we're not telling everybody is the day before the 1-day extreme, there might be a little bit of video shooting with the guys from Chicago Auto Pros, which will be a lot of fun. And then at the end of the month, Prentice and I are on the road at Southwest. So there's a ton going on. Just kind of got to keep your ear to the ground. And obviously, we'll keep you guys upgraded. So let's see here. This must be a wheel cleaning one, which is a great answer for that. Kind of doubling up on the high pH.
Foamer.
How many of us use the interior system with steam? Doesn't everybody?
Every day.
Yeah.
What is it? Every day and twice on Sunday. I don't really do cars on Sunday, but yes, all the time. Love it. So I use both. I use both the. Obviously, use the system. If it's not super dirty, you can get away with just using a towel. Then my second most used way is with the steamer to kind of just steam and extract the carpets. But then I do also use an extractor on those super dirty interiors. I don't do that very often. We're talking maybe a couple times a year, but I do have an extractor for those situations. I had one this week that the seats were super dirty. It was a veterinarian's car, and those seats needed to be extracted. So I used the carpet system and then used a rinse of Absolute in my extractor. So when I do use the extractor, I'm not soaking the seats by any means, but I use like a rinse. I rinse it with Absolute and then extract and pull the who knows what out of there.
Yeah, I felt like I maybe saw a question in there that was, when using the system, how do you use it with an extractor? Maybe I dreamed it up, but that's a great answer, right? You don't need to put the soap in the extractor. Use the system with your brushes or your drill brush, whatever you're doing, and then extract with either just clean water or Absolute, something like that.
Yep.
We make a great extractor shampoo too, which is a great product for that. But I've always been just to put water in the extractor and run. So
and now that we have the Absolute, it's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Hot water.
Are there any plans to have events in Southern California? Yes, I know that there are several coming up. Our events are constantly being added, so just make sure that you follow, all of our social media. We will post all the events on there. But Southern California, definitely, there's events. I know
you had one down there.
Just missed one. Rennie last weekend had a coffee coatings and profits at Uber Detail. So that was the last one. That was just last weekend. So. But yeah, just stay tuned to our social media. We'll share all those dates, but definitely there will be some in SoCal. Humberto says, loving Absolute since did mostly rinseless rinse. I can't talk all of a sudden. Rinseless with
With
O&R.
O&R.
Yes. Yes. This one
I
again,
wonder
Joe,
who asked that.
it's so funny. I just know who's asking this question. Hey, Tony, who does your marketing?
Well,
Yeah,
that
your
would be
marketing,
the
but you've
amazing
stepped it up. Yeah.
Kyra. Yeah, Kyra. Yeah, I got some help. I needed some help. So Kyra
Yeah.
Capato, I believe is her name, who is also affiliated with Mr. Joe Kimball there and his amazing shop. She's been helping me out with marketing. It's been great.
All right, we missed a dressing, guys. There you go.
Oh my gosh, Hawaiian Shine. I also saw Full Send. We missed Full Send as well.
Yeah, we did.
Full
The
Send.
first
Yes.
rule of Hawaiian Shine is we don't talk about Hawaiian Shine in California because it's not sold in California. So it's like Fight Club. It's one of those. All right, the stop snowing. Good.
This show will be fine.
Somebody
Got to
is gonna
figure
have
that
to
out.
tell me
Maybe
about
we
this.
don't. Maybe the
Seriously.
mystery is the mystery of the shell is more
Everybody's
fun.
kind of voting on their favorite dressings, so I'm just going to throw those up there. Hey, by the way,
I'm going to die on the hill that there's too
we've
many.
gone from the Philippines to Finland today, so we are covering ground.
Nice.
Global.
Yeah.
We are a global brand.
Awesome. Alex says all of our snow is melted. We had a deep freeze and snow at the end of December. It's been very mild January. That's been the same here, Alex. We had like crazy snow in December, and then January, I think we're getting all that whatever's coming off California, but like the warm air. So we're not getting necessarily the rain, but we're getting the following of it, which is just like a 45-degree wind.
So this is not a PNS product, but have either of you guys tried the tire coat?
No. I tried a few
what
tire
we tried
coatings.
here?
It is. It's what we tried at your place. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I have to be honest. I didn't love it. Did you love it, Keith? I didn't love it. Here's the thing. I felt like it was just a regular tire dressing. I mean, it came off of a car that wasn't being driven pretty quickly. So, and we prepped the tires pretty good. We did that at my car show. Tony, you were here, right, when we put that stuff on?
I do remember, yeah.
Yeah, it held up on mine for about a week and a half. I think it may have a lot to do with the tires too, but you know.
Yeah, you still had about half of it left when we went to Air Force One, which was about 3 weeks later.
Yeah, so
and you had some left, yeah.
You know, and you know, to be honest, we maybe didn't use their stuff. Hello, my supervisor is here. She's on it. She's saying we've got to wrap.
Karen says she loves Wipe and Shine. I love Wipe and Shine. Tony, you got to give Wipe and Shine another chance. You got to use the flag tip brush.
Okay, flag tip nylon.
Yep.
Wipe and Shine.
Sydney, the Diva Detailer. Yes,
Diva.
Love it. Love it. Here's the deal with the Diva Detailing, though, is honestly, it's going to be a great show because here's the deal. I don't take shortcuts. It's just being smart, you know, and like saving time and money.
Right.
And it maybe is, some could perceive it as being a diva, but there's a lot of things that I do because I'm a diva that when I share these tips with men, they go, oh my gosh, that's like life changing. And so those are going to be the tips that I'm going to share. It's like, I mean, you guys need to bring out your inner diva, and I promise you'll love it.
All right. So yes,
okay.
Doing the crystal wash video.
Yes. Yeah, I got it. Working on it.
Thank you for the link. I posted the link. Here's the link to Mobile Tech Expo. There you go.
There you go.
Awesome. Stefan says, love watching you and learn so much from you. What do you use to apply dressing tires for a neat, clean look? So that flag tip brush. It's the same brush that I use for cleaning wheels. I just obviously have a dedicated one for dressings. And I also have a dedicated one for each dressing. So I have a dedicated one for dynamic, and I have a dedicated one for wipe and shine, and I have a dedicated one for dressed because they're all different dressings, right?
Too many.
So my favorite is those, like the one I use is green, but sometimes they're salt and pepper color, but it's the flag tip wheel brush. You don't want the one that has the super long bristles that is very nylon. You kind of want the nylon ones with the fuzzy stuff at the end. Is there a word for that?
Yeah, you can tell. That's it. I mean, the flag tip.
They're
you can tell.
They're just more fuzzy.
They're split.
Yeah.
They're literally like cut at the ends, and it makes it softer.
So you don't want the body
more
brush.
surface area.
You don't want the body brush that's like stiff nylon. You want the flag tip brush. And the other thing about those is they have to be seasoned. So the first time you use it, you may not absolutely love it, but the more you use it, you'll love it. The more dressing and honestly kind of like that dirt that builds up in there, it makes it seasoned and then it goes on perfect. Look at you, Gracie, and up close and personal. And so it will literally last probably, I mean, I do hundreds of cars before I change my brush, right? Because it works so good. The one that will wear out the fastest will be the wipe and shine. It'll just get too much gel built up in the brush, but it's still a long time.
Yeah.
But definitely the brush, because then you're kind of painting it on the tire. It's smoothing it in. It's leveling out the dressing. Definitely the brush is the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Crystal said she loved MTE.
You were too fast on that. Last year was my first year at MTE. It was definitely worth it. Can't wait to go again. Never knew how big the detailing world really was, right? That's what I did not know, that there was actually a whole industry. Oh, $150 for all 3 days. That's still a great deal. It's a great, great show.
Still really not bad.
Yep. Okay, I've heard. Oh, this was from Jason Otterness. This was the one I kind of read out loud. So heard from new detailers, gone to it's a game changer for sure. If you can go, come see us. How are we doing on time? It's a little bit late. Okay, so are you good on time, Tony? You good?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. So Tight Detailing says, officially I know it's for exterior, but I've heard Bead Maker can also be used as UV protectant on interior surface. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Would be nice to know if it's true. So what I can tell you is it's totally fine to use on the interiors. I don't necessarily do it because I kind of live in like a desert type area. So the interiors are pretty dry here. So I use protectant inside almost every single car. Just because I want that hydration. I'm not necessarily worried about the UV protection, just because most factory windows now have a UV protectant in them. But I like the hydration from, like natural finish. Now, what I do use Bead Maker for on the interiors is a couple different places. I kind of use it as my final wipe. So, going over the instrument cluster, the nav screen, the center console, I kind of use it as that final, rather than using like a paint prep or a window cleaner. I actually use Bead Maker as my final touch spray on the interiors. So, the chrome door handles. So that's kind of what I go and like final wipe everything with. The other place that I do use Bead Maker on the inside of the car is on the inside of the windshield, because it's kind of an anti-fog. So it kind of helps keep them clean.
Really?
And it works really, really great as kind of an anti-fog. So cool. I don't use it on the plastics. I know there is some people that will wipe down the dashboard with it and stuff. I've never done that. But you won't hurt anything for sure.
Okay. Now, is the urban legend true that Bead Maker was originally initially formulated for plastics and it sort of grew from there?
I mean, Keith would have to chime in on this, but
Keith,
nope. So the legend on Bead Maker was Dave made it from scratch. Nobody really knew what it was. It sat on his shelf for a couple years. He showed it to Bob a couple times. Yeah. And so it wasn't really until, they joined forces with Rennie and started building his line that Dave, and I'm totally making this up, Dave ran in his office and pulled it off his shelf and they tried it on a car.
Really happened
there's a whole story about it.
They went down to spend some time with Rennie and Dave brought it.
Okay.
And they tried it. And
they went to lunch.
Well, this feels pretty good, yada, yada. Then they went to lunch and they came back and they walked in and went, whoa, does that car look kind of different? And Dave's like, well, yeah, I've been telling you it's a great product. And so that's kind of the legend of how we turned ourselves on to Bead Maker in earnest. So once again, Dave was super modest with the product, and then all of a sudden it just, it was a thing. So that's
Bob chimed in.
The magic of Dave. It's like he just comes up with these really cool gems, and it's a lot of fun. So yay, we're going to Dallas. Okay, we got that.
Hey. That's
some training again. Is that?
And I know that because that's what he calls it in his stories. The shit off. Okay, Kirby says, Sydney, Tony, and Keith, thanks for this morning for 2023. Heading out to ride my bike. See you at all MT. We cannot wait.
See you, Tom.
Very looking forward to it.
All right, here's an actual question.
Cordless
Has
pressure
anybody found a
washer.
cordless pressure washer that they like?
I love a lot of cordless pressure washers. They're usually gas powered.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've seen some of the cordless ones. I just can't imagine that they really work to full capacity. I think that in a
Yeah,
pinch, like in a pinch, maybe they would be nice, but I wouldn't use one as consistent, you know?
same
The
kind of deal.
problem
If
is
you're
you
in a pinch
do
trying to wash a dirty car in your garage, maybe, or even,
Mhm.
when you don't have access to something else. But
Mhm.
you use a lot of voltage, and you don't really have a battery that's going to store enough power for that. And there's a lot of torque and
Right.
pressure generated by a head. So it's not always a
Yeah.
win. Either gas or a plug-in one is probably your best way right now. It's like the car, though. I mean, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
an electric car was a piece of junk, and today it's a thing. So the technology's catching up.
Yeah.
yep,
I would imagine that it takes a lot of power to run it in the way that a pressure washer should be. I would assume that it would be a little bit more like a high pressured hose than a pressure washer
yeah,
when using a battery. But
it's like a slightly
yeah.
stronger pump sprayer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like an electric pump
Yeah.
sprayer, which is fine, but it's not high pressure.
Right.
Somebody who is anonymous has not used that
Croissanto.
food yet.
Croissanto. Yeah. I
Croissanto,
looked that up.
dude, we gotta
Croissanto.
talk. Call me.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get you some
Got to change
absolute.
that. Those are rookie
I know
numbers.
it's in Canada because, man, those guys, they made sure to get it. They were all about the absolute. We heard about it until they got it.
Yeah.
All right. So I use absolute on all my jets and I work on a piston engine aircraft and all of the customer vehicles. It's been a game changer. Yes.
So that's
Wow.
Really
Wayno,
love
and
it.
Wayno, I'm looking forward to seeing you. He's in the Boston area, so it's going to be awesome to
Oh,
see
okay,
him.
cool.
He went to train with Rennie last year.
Yeah.
I met him a year ago or so. So
Hmm.
Wayno, looking forward to seeing you, brother.
Nice. Yes. Awesome on aircraft. Awesome.
Okay, somebody else is asking for turtle details, please. Uh,
Tori details that. That's what I was
Arietta details,
wondering if
please.
we were calling Terry a turtle. Do you delete crystal wash? No, don't dilute it. Nope. Full
Ready
strength.
to use.
Let it do
Okay.
its thing. Yep.
Hmm.
Let it do its thing. Uh,
First
Finding
better
crystal wash
spraying
and
on
decontamination
dry
wipes.
works.
Yes, Terry, I do use it dry. Good point. So,
I'm sold on this
because
crystal
same
wash stuff.
thing. Yeah, it's
yep.
it's pretty amazing. So yes, you want to use it dry because if you use it wet, then it's not really able to kind of do its thing. So even when cleaning wheels, if I'm using crystal wash, I'm spraying it on dry. I don't pre-rinse the wheels. Whereas a lot of times with Iron Buster, I will pre-rinse the wheels, but with crystal wash, I spray it on dry. So good point.
Yep.
Tight
So
detailing. Go
that's
ahead.
for your anti-fog on Windows, Sid.
Oh,
And
Bead Maker.
Dave says, yes, I made it for paint.
yep, yep. Yeah, crystal wash. And crystal wash is getting a new label soon. Just a heads up.
I think the label's done.
Is it? Sweet.
Oh,
I don't
So
think it's
exciting.
produced, but I think it's done.
Sweet. Okay, so good point on the windows already having UV protection. So that's a good point. Let's talk about that just for 1 second. So I know everybody, there used to be this whole thing about like, what's that stuff called? The stuff all of our parents used. They put on the dashboard saying it would keep it
Armor
from
All.
cracking. Yes. So everyone kind of got on this
oh,
whole Armor All deal and you had to put stuff on the dash. So a lot of the cars today have UV built into the windows. So really interior UV protection is not as important as it used to be.
yeah,
I really feel like interior protectants are more for the hydration. Because if you keep your plastics hydrated and your leathers hydrated, the less likely to stain they are, the less likely they are to absorb dirt and body oils. So if your
yeah.
leather seats have the
Easier to
hydration,
clean.
they're not going to absorb your body oils. So that's why we use protectants nowadays. It's not necessarily for UV protection. Now, obviously on those older vehicles that all the windows are super clear, yeah, you probably still need UV protectant, but I just wanted to point that out real quick.
I'm a windows down
Yep.
driver, so I need UV protection.
Right, sure. Yeah.
That's the way I like to drive. So here's
I
a
don't
good
drive with my windows down. What would you suggest for restoring the look on Jeep soft tops and bikini tops? Well,
I think that's
restoring,
hard.
that's hard for restoring. Because
I mean,
soft
obviously
tops,
making
if
sure they're clean, but I feel like they fade.
yeah, if they've already faded, you're kind of committed to the fade.
I
There's not really
probably,
anything.
for darkness, would probably go with Odyssey, just because I think it's the one that either that or
On the soft top?
maybe, yeah, on a, well,
Interesting.
so when we say soft top, let's define that. There's two kinds.
Yeah,
There's a
he's
canvas
saying a
soft
soft top.
top and there's a vinyl soft top. If you got the black vinyl, which is what fades,
Sure.
probably would use Odyssey on it. And I used to be a Jeep guy. I've owned a Wrangler and I've had that problem. My answer was I just bought a new best top, but that was just me. That's because somebody cut my window with a knife. But no, I would probably use Odyssey if you're trying to darken it up. You know, Ragtop Convertible Care, who are great friends of the program, and they make some good products for that. You know, you could use our Inspiration Fabric Protectant if you've got a canvas style top to protect it and water bead. But end of the day, if they've already faded, like they said, you know, you're really not bringing that necessarily back. You can temporarily make it look better. The problem with dressings on any of those black vinyls when they've faded, when it starts raining, you start getting the dribble marks and weird stuff going on. So sometimes it's just best if you can do the prevention. Pull a Sydney, and I'm going to call this one out on you, Sydney. There are dealerships in Boise that are terrified of Sydney Gwynn. And the reason is because
it's true.
My customer bought a new car. Don't you dare touch the car. It's going to Sydney. Right. So if you can help your customers by getting there first, you know, and do the protection and do the things you should do, an ounce of prevention is worth a brand new convertible top. So there you go.
Yep. Totally.
Yes, the beard, but the beard's going away. Sorry.
The beard.
The beard.
One more day. Gotta try
Crystal Wash. You gotta do it.
Love it.
All right. Great show today, guys. We're down to our last couple comments. So Kimberly has one here for us. Whatever happened to the Absolute t-shirt, or did I just miss out?
Is Bob Phillips still in the chat? What happened to the Absolute t-shirt? We have them. I have one.
There are some.
What happened to them. Yeah, we have them.
I do believe those shirts, though, came from the Rag Company, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the Dream Maker ones did. The Absolute.
Oh, the Dream Maker did. Okay, yeah.
Bob had the Absolute ones. The Dream Maker ones are the one I'm wearing.
Oh, well, I will say this. The Bead Maker Lounge this time will have available for purchase swag items. So they might just be there.
Bob said they're in storage.
With a smiley face. I don't know what that really means.
Saving them. Special occasion.
Funny.
So I'm going to take that comment to mean you can't buy those t-shirts out of our swag bag at Mobile Tech, but we will have swag items at Mobile Tech, so you can get your P&S gear in the booth. That's it. We hit every comment today, guys.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Well,
Good
thank you, Tony, for sitting in with us
Absolutely.
today. We so appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yep. Let me answer this one last question because, you know, rags are my thing. Yes, just throw them away. Just throw them away.
There's no value in trying to save a $3 towel that's going to then scratch a paint correction you spend an hour on when you try to use it.
It's a cost of doing business.
Or
factor it in.
You can do what I do and wash them and store them and say you're going to use them someday for a dirty job that never comes around, and just have too many bad towels sitting around. Yeah, just get rid of them.
You can just throw them away when you're done. And so I just it's a cost of doing business. There we go.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. This was super fun.
Thanks everyone.
That's hilarious.
2 weeks from today, it will be the Monday after we return from MTE. So we'll have lots to talk about.
We may have special guests that day because I will be on the East Coast and maybe at, I don't know, some place called Auto Geek by that time.
Oh, fun. Very cool.
So we'll have to see who our guest will be on that Monday, but it's going to be a fun show.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us from all over the world today. That was super fun. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Yep. Thanks, Tony.
See everybody.
Thanks. We had to catch up from the holiday. So have a great week, everybody. We'll see you soon.